everyone, and welcome to my bold and beautiful Today Update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up to you. Ridge enlists RJ's help with an emotional task. And Zane chats up Luna Monday, December 18, 2023 moment on the bold, and the beautiful Ridge wants to finish Eric's collection. Steffy thanks Finn, and Brooke spends time alone with Eric. At the sanitarium, Ridge watches his father through the window until a nanny closes the hangouts. In the corridor, Finn asks him to concentrate on Eric coming through the surgery. Ridge asks him to walk him through the complications again. Finn and Bridge flash to the inordinate bleeding and explain that he crashed, was gone but came back. Ridge feels shamefaced for putting his patter through this. Steffy insists he did the right. Brooke intones, Ridge, he's going to pull through this. We've to believe that. In the design office at Forrester, RJ tells Luna he didn't get any sleep last night for allowing about his granddad. He may not completely come back from this, Luna, sorry. She knows how important he loves him. He hopes the experimental treatment Finn performed will bring Eric back to them. Zende appears and listens as RJ asks if she's having any alternate studies about last. She says no. RJ will say it again. I love you, Alina replies. I love you too. Tis and Zende smirks. Then Zende clears his throat and tells them he was just at the sanitarium. Eric is still critical. RJ feels terrible for Donna. Zende rants that he just can't understand indeed a moment's vacillation on Ridge's part to let Finn administer the treatment. Rather, he wanted to take Eric off life support. RJ defends his father. His forefather didn't want heroics. This is about Eric trusting Ridge to make the right decision. Luna intervenes to remind them that Eric asked them to be good to each other. Zende insists that Ridge was being cold and inhuman. RJ counters that he was doing what Eric wanted and didn't want his leader to suffer. If he'd turned off the machines, it would have been an act of mercy and he'd have been recognizing his father. At the sanitarium, Brooke tells Bridget that Donna's grabbing some effects from the house. Bridget says Aunt Katie is on her way too. Brooke urges Ridge to go get some sleep, but he won't budge until his father wakes up. Finn knows that Ridge feels shamefaced, but there were variables then that Eric was ignorant of, one of them being this treatment. Ridge hollers that he could die with a tube coming out of him. He's sorry, but they should have let him go peacefully. Ridge by B. Brooke and Steffy remind Ridge that Eric didn't know about the experimental treatment. Finn wishes he could have presented the idea to Eric himself, but he was too late. Ridge grunts that this is about quality of life. There are no guarantees. The Finn says that's rare in his line of work. Bridget cries that she'd have made the same choice. Steffy adds, same then. Brooke tells Ridge to stop being so hard on himself. Ridge says he passed over. Perhaps that's what he wanted, and they did this treatment to pull him back then. Now he could be trapped in his body like that for the rest of his days because of me. Steffy Finn baby in Finn's office. Steffy thinks he must be exhausted and just wants to see her forefather to pull through and asks how she's holding up. She muses that it's been a lot. We nearly lost him, but now there's stopgap because of you. Finn wanted to help and give it a shot. He wishes he'd have figured it out sooner. Steffy tells them how thankful they are. Finn just hopes he did enough to give her forefather back to her. In the design office, Luna tries to get Zende and RJ to stop arguing. Zende is just upset about Granddad. RJ shrugs, so AI. Luna urges them to picture him as strong and vital, just like he was when he was finishing his line. Zende wishes it was out. Ridge gets a textbook and looks thoughtful. In the main office, Ridge worries to Brooke that when Eric comes back. If he comes back, he too ain't the same person. She's sure he'll be happy. RJ enters and asks if there's any change with Granddad. Ridge says no. Brooke leaves to head back to the sanitarium. Ridge tells his son that in his patter's absence, they've to find a way to keep the company going. He's going to do that and wants him by his side. Ridge BAB. In Finn's office at the sanitarium, Finn thanks someone for the update and also tells Steffy there's no change in Eric's condition. She asks if that's good or bad. He says that only time will tell. It's frustrating. You suppose he'd be better at staying by now, but Eric is his family. Steffy recaps that ever since they learned her forefather was sick, he's been working down to try and save him. And it's out of his hands now, but she can no way thank him enough for it. They kiss. Steffy Finn kiss in the design office. Zende questions Luna about her love of fashion. She explains that she and her mama were romanticists, and it was fashion she loved. She still has to pinch herself that she's working at Forrester and helped Eric put together a new collection. They hope he pulls through. Zende finds it touching how much she cares about his granddad. They respect one of Eric's sketches, which is exquisitely untreated. He intends to do whatever it takes to finish his granddad's collection. In the main office, Ridge tells RJ that if this is Eric's swan song, they have to make sure everyone hears it. They need to finish his vision. Hey, then's the problem. I don't know his vision because I wasn't in the room you were. What do you suppose, father and son? Do you want to finish his collection? RJ agrees and they embrace. In the sanitarium, Brooke enters Eric's room and sits by his side. Touching his arm, Brooke starts to cry. She holds his hand and sheds further gashes, wiping them down and also placing her hand on his casket. Condemned regrets while Ridge and RJ join forces, senses like Zende Ani happy about Ridge's decision on Beast. The bold and the beautiful recap for December 15, 2023 sees plenitude of blame and regrets to go around while Eric lies in critical condition. Bold and the beautiful recap highlights in addition, Luna and RJ changed I love yous again. Finn and Steffy reconnected after the surgery. Zende and War reignited. Still, a regretful Ridge made a game-changing decision, condemn and regrets after Finn recapitulated the entire surgery, complete with complications and downcast gyrations. Ridge Thorstenkai find out which Bab stars won Emmys then. He continued to condemn himself. Everybody tried to get him to see there was no need to go there. Finn claimed there were variables that Eric was ignorant of. Eric may have changed his mind had he known about the experimental treatment. As a result, Eric at least had a chance. Still, stubborn Ridge wasn't hearkening. He allowed that perhaps they should have let his pater go peacefully. On top of that, he can't help allowing that he passed over. What if his pater wanted to stay there? But now Eric's trapped in his body, stuck there attached to tubes, perhaps for the rest of his days because of him. He hopes his pater will understand his decision. Utterly, Finn and Steffy are alone in his office. He wanted to know how his woman was holding up. It's been a lot. They nearly lost Eric, and now there's stopgap because of Finn. She still can't believe her hubby's been working day and night trying to save her forefather. Feeling all kinds of blame, Finn wished he could have figured it out sooner. Steffy was not having it. Latterly, she told him she loved him so much for trying to do everything in his power to save her granddad. At this point, still, there was nothing more he could do. Conflict between relatives at Forrester Creations. Luna assured RJ she offered him auspicious and positive words, while Zende overheard on their discussion, which included swapping another round of I love you and kisses. On his part, Zende pondered this development and also entreated them. Zende just got back from the sanitarium. There was no change to Eric's condition, and he was only suitable to see Eric through the window. This is when the discussion got hotted. Zende doesn't understand Ridge's vacillation over opting the experimental treatment. He couldn't believe Ridge could act that cold and inhuman. Of course, RJ defended his pater's conduct. Luna just wanted them to flash back Eric's words that he wanted everybody to get on. They should be supporting each other, not fighting each other. Zende decided to keep his opinions to himself, which RJ was cool with. Zende admitted he hates to suppose of Eric's grand homestretch line remaining untreated. It should be out there. Game. Changing occasion as Zende got to know Luna's fashion origin story. The developer stated he wanted to do whatever it took to finish his granddad's collection. It's too bad he'd no idea what was going on in the CEO's office back at Forrester Creations. Ridge and RJ. Ridge let his son know that this company was the most important thing in Eric's life. And because of that, he wants RJ by his side as he works to keep effects going at VC. Ridge ended up telling RJ that he wanted to finish Eric's vision for his line. That there's a problem. He wasn't in the room when Eric's line was created. RJ was. As a result, Ridge wanted to join forces with RJ and finish Eric's line. Meanwhile, Brooke sat by Eric's bedside where she cried over her father in low-ache husband's fate.